You gotta love it, you gotta respect what we doing, man. If you don't love and respect what we doing, you're not a real true New York Knicks fan.
Bars in the stool for the orange and blue. Put your arms in the roof, I need the guard in the moon. From the courtside spikes to the 400 heights, you feel the spirit of the Mecca when they darken the lights. This is Nick Set, Nick Set, Nick
What
Set.
is good, guys?
First off, we got Coach of the Year.
What is good, guys? How are we doing? Man, I have never been this happy in my entire life. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. By the way, shout out to Papa Left.
But I be killing on the corner with Kevin. KP might be gone, but we don't miss him. We got team builders here like Theo Gibson. You got a big 3, you should probably hit a 2. We got a big 15 and we be bodying your crew.
I'm telling you guys, I am amazed about this year. Like, when was the last time I was happy? 2013, when I was a sophomore in high school. I'm telling you guys, my God. Shout out to Papa Left. He made the song Hustle, you know. But anyways, guys, what is good, guys? It's your boy Aron, and you're watching The Aron Show, Knicks Take. I hope you guys are having an awesome, good day on a Friday. And let's just get this show on the road. I mean, listen. Over the last 8 years, we have been an up and down situation. Mostly down because right after Mike Woodson got fired, due to our cuckoo former president, Phil Jackson, almost lost his name there. Can't believe it that I did not remember his name. Yeah, things have not been great in the past. But thank God, the basketball gods and part of James Dolan has listened to us countless of times. And he finally listened to the New York Knicks fans. Or the Knicks fans, the true ones, blood, sweat, and tears. Not those celeb Knicks fans or wannabe Knicks fans like Max Kellerman and Shannon Sparks, who's from Undefeated and Knicks and I'm sorry, First Take. These guys, they don't have any clue that they'll jump back into the bandwagon. And I would say the same thing for Michael Rappaport, but you know what I mean? But, you know, we suffered enough right after Mike Woodson got fired and the whole facade of the story, because we hired Derek Fisher and then Jeff Hornacek and David Fizdale and some interim coaches like Kurt Rambis, Mike Miller, and the story just went like it goes on and on and on and on. But thank God we got him to listen to us, and we were like, we need one. Now, we weren't expecting last year that Leon Rose was going to just boom this franchise. We weren't expecting this to happen with Leon Rose because, you know, sometimes when you're a new president or something like that, your team goes to the ground, it comes back up, and it's a lot of time, effort. You know what I mean? And you know, I mean, that's how it is sometimes when you hire a new executive or head coach. The story just goes on and on and on. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta understand, with being a Knicks fan, it's like you're sticking with this team, do or die. But if you get out of the bandwagon, we're gonna be a little bit skeptical if you're gonna want to jump back in, because guess what? Yeah, we're not so sure about, you know, if you're gonna jump back in and, you know, criticize us some more, just like Max Kellerman does, because he's a little bit sneaky, you know. He wants to, and he has some good things to say, but then he's a wannabe. He's a wannabe Knicks fan. I mean, also, I don't want to say Stephen A. Smith, but I mean, the guy's got a point, you know. Except for the free agents. I mean, that, if you guys haven't seen that segment, please don't watch it. He just says something ridiculous, and like, he just talks too much gibberish, too much BS. I'm sorry, man. Excuse my language. But enough with the nonsense and the celebs and all that, and let's talk Knicks. So what a year. What a year. We hired some interesting people, like Leon Rose, which I mentioned maybe 5,000 times for the last 7 minutes, and World Wide Wes. Who else? Scott Perry is, you know, he's a couple of... When did he get hired? I think like a couple of years ago, so he's... not really, you know what? No. But you get the point. So we hired a couple of people to build us back into that sky, into the phoenix of basketball, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not good with names, but you know what I mean. In terms of the hiring of what James Dolan did last season, and how he hired Leon Rose, and how Leon Rose hired World Wide Wes. Can I just say that was not a C plus, a C minus, not a B plus, not a B minus. That was an A extra plus. And let me tell you why it's an extra plus. Because first of all, you got to give credit to these guys. You really do, you know? And I'm just talking about I'm talking about Leon and, you know, the rest of the, you know, executive front office. Because I think Leon knows what he's doing, and he's not that type of person where he just picks people, and, you know, it's a big market out here in New York. So, you know, I think he did the right choice, and he just stick with his path, you know. And it's not because of the agency, and they used to be agents because they knew one another and they were so, you know, together. Because think about it, they had I think they represented, like, I think they were representing LeBron James, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Karl Anthony Towns. Rest in peace to his mom, but you know, and you know what I mean. And the story goes on and on and on and on and on, and you know, it's just like a wide opening shock, because you don't know what to expect in a chance like this to get hired by James Dolan, who hired the wrong person. in 2017, right after, or no, 2014, I'm sorry, because I remember when the 1970 Knicks came for the reunion and all that stuff. So I think it was like a couple of days right after that reunion. So, but that was, at the time, that was a straight relief, and we sticked with. You get the story, but what I'm trying to say is that James Dolan he did a great job of hiring Leon Rose, and Leon Rose did a great job of hiring World Wide Wes. It's just, I put no words, and both of those people had a great they huddled up and they were like, okay, now we need a fresh new coach to bring us, or try to bring us back on the map. And at the time, we thought maybe it could be Jason Kidd. It could be Brett Brown, I think we said at the time. All these guys, all these coaches that got fired because, we hired some coaches. And, some of, we also thought maybe David Blatt, But he wanted to come out of retirement as head coach. So, he didn't really want to coach. And he also had, he has right now some issues going on with his body. If you haven't heard, you might as well search it up on Google. Very scary story with David Blatt. So I hope he feels good. But when they looked at Tom, and they probably said, we're going on chips all in. Believe me, I was like, okay, I don't want to be too excited, but let's see. Let's see what the future awaits for the Knicks. Let's see. And listen, I mean, we started by making those baby steps, because we were kind of like, okay, let's see what he's gonna do with Julius. Let's see what he's gonna do with all these guys, because this was way before Derrick Rose got traded to New York. So we started, with all these interviews and this and that. And also, little by little, we got good with the free agent. Because right after Tom got hired, we started getting players like Nerlens Noel. And we were kind of like, okay, well, okay, let's see. We don't want to be like, trade. Because we're always aiming for those trade things. And that's not good, So we were kind of skeptical on all of those, things. And we kind of did that with some players. Here, let me give you an example. We waived off Kareem Allen and Alonzo Trier, right? And this wasn't a trade, but we just waved them off. And the next thing you know, the same day as they got waved off, we got Theo Pisson, because he wanted to join us, so he was like, you know what, add me in. Or I think it was the other way around. I think it was the Knicks want, I think they were like, we're gonna add you in, So that was good. I mean, it was quite interesting. And then we also waved off Taj Gibson at some point in the summer, but when the season kind of started, we were kind of like, you know what, let's bring him back. Why did we wave him off? And then everyone talked about maybe we should get Tyson Chandler or, someone like that, someone who's very, athletic and, who could teach these guys. And I think that Taj Gibson, can teach these guys, At the time, I was like, okay, maybe not, this and that. But that was back. Now we're talking about the fact that, okay, we can do this. And so little by little, we took baby steps. And I think what I got really excited was the season, slowly starting. And, because we had some big free agents coming to the Knicks. Like, even Austin Rivers, I forgot to mention him. He came and, he had a couple of awesome games, but, slowly it was kind of like, okay, we got to do something. And we didn't trade Austin to go to the Pistons, but we traded Devin Smith Jr. to go to Detroit. First of all, I'll tell you the reason why I agreed with this trade, because first of all, he wasn't that type of player that was going to come out of the bench and play a couple of minutes in the game and get that boost to the team. He just wasn't. So, everyone was like, the media was kind of like skeptical about like, maybe they're going to reunite. And, it just came, and it happened. Now also, prior to that trade, it was kind of like, maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe it's going to happen. The moment that it happened, I was kind of like, okay, the roller coaster has just begun. It's like you get on that roller coaster and it goes up, 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 and then like it has like one of those like loop-de-loops, and kind of like when you go to one of those like indoor roller coaster rides, and they have like the big IMAX theater roller coaster rides. I wish they could do that for NBA teams. Which teams you are a big fan of. Imagine that. Oh my God, that would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, that got me exciting. That got me excited when Derrick Rose came to New York and came back and reuniting with Tom Thibodeau. And it was just so interesting because then he reunited with Taj Gibson, and then we slowly saw that we were getting better and better and better. And I'm not saying that we got worse at the beginning. We were doing all right. We had 5 wins and 3 losses. It's good, but it was just the beginning of the season. Because of that big game where we were reversing, I think it wasn't Detroit. I think it was Utah. Yeah, something like that. I think we were going up against Utah, and then Austin Rivers had that big game or something like that. So, I was excited, at the beginning of the season, and of course when Derrick Rose got traded, because I was like, this is going to be interesting. And slowly we got better and better and better. But we also didn't use, Austin Rivers during these games right after Derrick Rose got traded. So, in the middle of the season, we traded him to OKC for, I think it was a G League player and someone from France. So, but we didn't use him, so we waived him off. That player went to Real Madrid. The guy from France who was from the Celtics. So, but yeah, and I don't think we even used the player from OKC. I also think that we traded, we got back John Henson. So, yeah, and then next thing you know, we kept on like, going and going on, going on, and then like until we got to like 30 wins, I was like, we're in the playoffs. We're in. You know, even though we were like at the sixth play, like even though we were at the sixth seed and then fifth and you know sixth and like, but we tried. We came back all the way, and it was like, you know, sorry about that. We were getting back like slowly and slowly and slowly, and it was just like, you know, oh my god, like holy shit. I'll never forget where I would just watch the Knicks post-game show on on YouTube, and just like hearing everyone talking. It was crazy. Like that was crazy. I would just hear noise like yo, we're in the playoffs now, and I was like, shouldn't we relax because we have 30 wins? I mean, what, you know, it's already. It's February. It's February, but we should relax, you know, like, and then like next thing you know, we end up at like 35 wins, 36. Like later on in the season, 35, 36, 37, 30. And then that game right after we lost with Boston, I don't remember what the record was, but right after we lost that game with Boston, we had a 9-game winning streak, which, by the way, if you didn't check out my my vlog going to the Phoenix Suns game, check it out. I mean, even though we got the loss, this was history. Like, winning 9 straight games was history. And we were like, the basketball gods gave us something. And it was just like, you know, I mean, you know, and I know that I repeat myself constantly over and over and over again, but it's like, that feeling when you're like, and like, it just feels, it feels so good against the Atlanta Hawks. And now I'm going to tell you my opinion on each game. But first I want to talk about the Atlanta Hawks, first of all. This team is hard, and we got to be careful. Because we beaten them on a couple of occasions. And this team is, you know, they also haven't been to the playoffs. But we have got to be careful. I mean, Trae Young is... The guy can play. You know, this is his first time in the playoffs, but he can play. Gallinari. He's really good. Like, the guy is no joke. I mean, you know, when I tell you that Gallinari is good, I mean, the guy is good. And he's not a joke, you know, it's like he can actually play, you know, but, like, when you talk about some of these guys, it's like, okay, we got to be careful, because they've got Trae Young, he's a sharp shooter sometimes, but we got to attack him, you know, we got to be, like, you know, tightening up him, so, you know, and I'll put some of the, you know, players that I think maybe like right over here, like somewhere here, or maybe like right over here. So, you know, but we got like Gallinari and all, like, did I just say we got Gallinari? Yeah. So, yeah, so they've got, like, Trae Young. They also have, like, Borgen Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, even, like, Dre A. Hunter. That's his nickname because I don't know his full pronunciation. Lou Williams, they also have, who played in LA last year. So, they got some players that we really, really got to be careful. And this is their first time going to the playoffs. So we really got to be careful with these guys, because it's, listen, this team has got a little bit of something. Sometimes whenever we beat them, they come back at us, but we got to fight back. And listen, we've got players that we could beat their ass at some point, like Julius Randle. I mean, this season, can I tell you something, guys? Julius Randle has been averaging 24 points, and I'm putting this right over here. Everywhere, like, from the players that we have to watch out and all that stuff, I'm putting it right over here for the Atlanta Hawks, and, like, for the Knicks as well. That goes for the same, but we're good, I'm not gonna, like, I'll put all the players right over here so you guys can see. Julius Randle this season had 24 points. Do you know what 24 points is? Do you know what he had last season? Last season, Julius had 19 points. I repeat, Julius Randle last season had 19 points. That was nothing. You know why? Because first of all, we had David Fizdale being so delusional on who's on defense, who's in the starting five, and it was just crazy. And I remember telling my friends, listen, I'm not going to a Knicks game where we're just going to keep on losing and losing and losing. And, it's just going to be this on and off. So, and it was just crazy, like, at the time. Because I was like, yo, if this is how it's going to go, like, count me. Like, I'm not going back to the Garden unless something is fixed. And, it was just crazy last year. Because also, when you look at RJ Barrett last year, he only had 14 points. The kid averaged 14 points. And, like, we had players like Bobby Portis, who's now in Milwaukee. I mean, last year was just... But you can't blame some of these players like RJ and Julius and, even like Mitchell, he had a little bit of an off, side. But that was just the experiment. Now when you look at this year, I'm telling you guys of how much they average. Let me tell you guys in order, and I'm looking at this from SofaScore, one of the best websites and apps I've ever recommend for other people, if they want to follow some international sports and, because I know some of the times you're adding your favorite teams and they don't, like, you get a lot of, like, notifications and, but luckily for myself, I like this website, so, But let me tell you how many points each player averaged this season for us. Julius, 24 points averaged this season. WTF? Where did that come from? RJ Barrett, 17 points. Walla walla. By the way, I don't know what that means, but it's a Hebrew word, so walla walla indeed. Derrick Rose, I repeat, Derrick Rose, the same Derrick Rose that came to our team when Jeff Hornacek was just terrible at coaching us as a team. And Derek and Phil Jackson. But Derrick Rose came back, and guess what? He averaged 14 points. And guess what? He wasn't even in the starting five. The guy wasn't even in the starting five. He was just like, you know what? Like, whatever Coach Tibbs did, he was good with it because you know what? You've got to trust in a coach that believes in you. Even if you don't have that same talent that you did in the past, try to do some new techniques. You know what I mean? And that's what Derrick Rose did. Alec Burks, you know, another player that we got from free agency this year. He averaged 12 points. You know, it's not an oh my god, but, you know, he made some big plays for us this season. You know, Emmanuel Quickley, first of all, I mean, this kid is amazing. It looks like Emmanuel Quickley reminds me of a 13-year-old kid just shooting from far range. And I'm like, that's not going to go in. It's in. Can someone explain to me of how CBS Sports said that I believe that he was a D+ player that could come to the Knicks? D+? Excuse me? For a rookie, I would give him a B+. I'm sorry. Where did you get D? You know who I would give a D? To the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, I'm talking about the Brooklyn Nets that got freaking, you know, what's his name? Blake Griffin. Yeah, that player. We got a much better player. Team with Blake Griffin. And they gave Emmanuel Quickley a D? That D should have went to Blake Griffin. Yeah, I'm talking about the Blake Griffin that even couldn't shoot a three-pointer with the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, that Blake Griffin. That Blake Griffin that couldn't shoot a three-pointer from far distance with the Detroit Pistons. Okay, yeah, he had a couple of good plays. Yeah, sure, okay, maybe the dunks, all that stuff. But that wasn't the Blake Griffin that we saw with LA back when he was with Chris Paul. I mean, I'm sorry. But, I mean, really. I would give him a D+. Okay, let me keep on going. Reggie Bullock, 10 points. You know what? I'm going to say good. It's good. Again, not great, but good. Because think about it. Those players like Alec Burks, Reggie Bullock, they weren't key players, but whenever there were critical moments, they were like, okay, we'll make it happen and we'll tie these games up. So they weren't like, okay, you know what? Not good, but amazing. Here's the thing. I don't want to say that the points that they averaged were really mind-opening, but it's just like when it's critical moments that we need to tie games up, those players best. So, you know, give credit to Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks. The next one is Elfrid Payton. he had 10 points this season. I'm not gonna rate. It's just too hard. I mean, if you want to comment and give me your opinion, please do, because I don't have an answer for him, and sometimes he just makes me nervous. He's one of those players that makes me nervous, and he's just like in the starting lineups, but you don't know how he's gonna end up playing. So, you know, Mitchell Robinson, on the other hand, this season, he's good. You know, I mean, listen, you know, it's not like a forward center is gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna make 3 points for you, like a 3-point attempt. You know, even though he's done it in the off season. I mean, I think maybe he has made a couple of in this season, but you know, yeah. But give credit to Mitch, because he's made some good plays for us when it's been like close games. Taj Gibson also. I mean, here's the thing: Taj Gibson and also Nerlens Noel, because they also have the same points. Taj has 5 points, like 5.4, and Nerlens has also 5 points as well, but his is 5.1 according to SofaScore. So these guys, they know, you know, they know how to get into these moments of like critical moments of like, okay, we're in this critical moment where we're down by 12 and we got to get back. So, you know, I mean, am I convinced that maybe these players are going to be like, okay, we got to see what happens? You know, let's see what happens when we reach to these games, you know, in the playoffs. So it's going to be very, 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 like, these are going to be some dangerous moments, like, even defensively and offensively, because I'll tell you one of the reasons why. Because, first of all, when you play up against Trae Young, Gallinari, I know I keep on saying his name because I always forget the other names, but Gallinari, Lou Williams, as I go back to, here we go, Click Capella, you know, all of these guys, you know, even like, you know, John Collins, Bogdanovich, something with a B, Cam Reddish, D.A. Hunter, that's his nickname because I don't know how to pronounce his full name, Tony Snell. These players, we gotta really, really be careful. Even if it's like players that I've never, you know, knew, you've got to be careful. Because you might never know. Game 1 is going to probably be a W. Game 2 is probably just going to be like, okay, you know, got to be careful with those games and all that stuff. But, you know, I really do hope that we win this round. Actually, not I hope. I want them to win this playoff round. And I'm talking about the Knicks, of course. I'm not talking about them. But yeah, you know, let's see. I mean, this is going to be one hell of a ride. So, you know, yeah, it's going to be one hell of a ride. So, yeah, and the game is going to be on TNT, by the way, if you want to know which national TV it's going to be on. It's going to be on TNT, so, yeah. So, for those of you who live in a different state and don't have MSG Network, it's also on TNT, so. You know, but, yeah, now I just want to talk about which games we're going to win and which games that are going to be, tied up or taking the lead, and who's going to win which game. Game 1, I think we're going to win, of course. There might be some times, because usually I know I use the word weaknesses a lot, but the thing is that sometimes we take a possession in the first quarter and we'll just keep on leading and leading, and we'll be up by maybe like 7 points or 8, 9, sometimes even like 10, 12. And sometimes like an opponent team would just take away, the game. So it would be like that. And here's the thing. I'm usually afraid of those moments. But it's probably going to be a little bit tied up, and then we'll end up getting the win. So that's going to be game 1 with a W. Don't know the score, but could tell you that it's going to be a W. Game 2, it's going to be a back and forth. So they'll probably be taking the lead. We'll probably be taking the lead. It's probably going to be a tie break in halftime. I'm going to have to go with No, actually not maybe. You know what? Fuck it. I want the Knicks to win that game. Even if there's times where we're getting tied up and all that. Game 3, I want to say, here's the thing. I want to say that they're going to win. They're going to win at their home court. The reason why is because, first of all, it might be a little bit of a tight match, and they're gonna butt heads, and you might never know. Maybe there's gonna be a fight. So yeah. And you also know with Tom Thibodeau, I mean, he's a person that loves to, get butt his heads with the refs and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" and just plays with his mask. So yeah, but yeah, that's probably gonna be a W for Atlanta. And then game 4 is gonna go with us. It's just gonna go to us. We're gonna win, and I'm not saying we're gonna win straight up, but same thing as what I said before. Listen, my feeling is that they'll probably take the lead, but we'll probably just race back and then take that lead. That's what I believe, because sometimes during these games, we'll have situations where something like that could happen. And then in game 5, back at home, what can I say? We're gonna put the nail in the coffin. It's our home court. I can't see this team making it to game 6 or 7. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're gonna go just like last time when we made it to the playoffs, and it's gonna be a 3-2 series, and then we'll win at their home court. I'm sorry, it's not gonna go like that. Hell no. We're gonna go back home, game 5, and we're gonna win home court. Excuse me. We're gonna go straight up, and we're gonna smack everyone's face. But with the respect. I mean, we don't, this is New York, we want to win, We haven't been to the playoffs for 8 years. 2013, that was the last time we made it to the playoffs. I think I just rapped, but I'm not so sure. Comment down below. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of rap today. J. Cole, Papa Left, that rapper that made that song on Nick's set. anthem. So I'll put that down in the description. Awesome song. So, but yeah, I'm going 4-1. I'm sorry, I just cannot see a 3-2 series going back to a game 6 in Atlanta. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, when was the last time we had this critical moment was in Boston. And believe me, in Boston, with Carmelo, Tyson Chandler, Amari Stoudemire, J.R. Smith, all these guys, we were busting our ass. Because at the time, we had Paul, they had Paul Pierce. They had KG. They had Rajon Rondo. They had all of these guys. These big-ass guys. Doc Rivers. I mean, come on, It was a crazy game. I'll never forget it. Because I was at my hometown, at a pizzeria. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And, some of my family friends, they're like, where are you, man? We'll watch it at my house, at my place. And I'm like, I don't know. It was just crazy. So, I remember it so vividly. And I was in high school, and I was a sophomore. I'll just never forget it. And it was on a weekend, of course. I think it was a Saturday game or a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday or a Friday. I'm not so sure. Either one of those days, I'm assuming, because it was definitely during the day, I think it was around 5, 6 o'clock or something like that. I don't really remember, but I do remember I was at that pizzeria and they were showing the game. They were like, everyone else was like, yo, I don't know, man, the last time I was in the Knicks, they were like, oh, man, 1973, 1970, and I'm like, really? In my head, I'm just like, I mean, I know these guys were born in, the early 60s, and all that stuff, but it's like, at the time, I was just like, can we just give them some credit, please? If we win this game, in my head, and it was just like, once we got that win, I was just like, yes, we're going up against Indiana. And, my God, it was just crazy. But now, sitting in 2021, I mean, my God. And for me to say that the Knicks are going to go 4-1, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm sorry, I don't... With all due respect for Atlanta, they deserve... They deserve a little bit, but not too much. Just a little bit, So, I'm going 4-1. I'm sorry, but the Atlanta Hawks have to go home on our home court. They're going bye-bye. And we're going up against Philly or the Wizards. So, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Philly. But, yeah. So, yeah. I really can't wait. This whole entire week, I was watching, some previews of the playoffs and all that stuff. I mean, this playoff series with Atlanta, we have to focus. And it's mentally and physically. I mean, this is, when it's going to be game 5, it's going to be a do or die. Because if they win on our home court, guess what? It's going to be like, now we're gonna have to repeat of what we did with the Celtics back in 13. When Carmelo Anthony and Tyson you know the roster if you're a Knicks fan, but we all know that's not gonna happen. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm effing excited. I just feel like putting the song. Can I just do that? Like, you know, I don't have any more words, guys. I'm sorry. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to ring those notification bell. Please, just ding-a-ling. Please, just, you know, ring that notification bell. And please, share this channel. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your mom. And share it with your dad. Your cat. Your dog. Your brother. Your little brother. Your sister. Your wife. Your girlfriend. Maybe a cousin of yours. Maybe a cat. Maybe a hamster. I don't care. I'm just a happy guy who is fucking, excuse my language, who's fucking excited for the playoffs. Anyways, guys. Peace.
You gotta love and you gotta respect what we doing, man. If you don't love and respect what we doing, you're not a real true New York Knicks fan.
Bars in the stew for the orange and blue. Put your arms in the roof, I need the garden to move. From the courtside spikes to the 400 heights. You feel the spirit of the Mecca when they darken the lights. This is Knicks set, Knicks set, Knicks set, Knicks set, Knicks set.
Here we go.
First off, we got
Coach of the Year, Tom Thibodeau.
To make the ghost of Holtzman appear. Bring it back to when the garden was Eden. Klein and Breed on MSG with the whole crowd calling for defense. We bring the hustle
Subscribe.
that he supports. You're trying to dunk
Like.
on Merlin's a Mitch. You'll be
Not this one.
Bullock with
This
the rocks,
one.
Put these bulls on lock. And when he pull that shot, all you hear is what? And I ain't talking about Cardi and Megan. No knocks to them, but I be killing on the corner with Kevin. KP might be gone, but we don't miss him. We got team builders here like Theo Pinson. You got a big 3? You should probably hit him too. We got a big 15 and we be bodying your crew. When Taj is in the group, he anchoring the D. When Rose is in the game, that's when we play a little free. Obi on the dunks, quickly with the threes. Got your max